Hey guys, all right, so we're gonna do a little update on Odin. Overall, he's doing really, really well. I wanted to kind of clarify a few things as we go along and to kind of give you guys what we're thinking and what we're seeing. First thing I want to clarify is some things that I see online. And one of those things is there's no such thing as a bad dog, just bad humans. As much as I want that to be true, it's not. That is an absolute fallacy. There are dogs that are just straight up assholes. And then there are dogs that are absolute power breeds that will push the limits whenever they get a chance and will test you from the start to the finish all the time. And so that comment about there's no such thing as a bad dog isn't true, all right? I wish it was, but I've seen many, many asshole dogs that just don't like humans, and it is what it is. And they were never abused. Liability, people want to talk about liability. As far as liability is concerned, number one, whenever you have a human aggressive dog or any dog that's ever bitten, and especially a power breed, you have to always maintain and set the dog up for success and limit contact. If you have a Borbal, you shouldn't have this dog around strange kids. You shouldn't, right? That's not the dog for that. His owner has been really good at that and has always maintained healthy boundaries with this dog around other people. And he's always been reactive towards strangers, which is what Borbals do. That is their job, is not to be trustworthy of strangers. So she's always done a very, very good job of maintaining that with him. So as far as that's concerned, hey, she's doing a great job. As far as trusting, can she ever trust him again? That's between her and him, all right? I can't speak for her. You can't speak for her. And maybe you can ever trust him. But number one, this isn't your dog and you don't know. This is her dog. And it is up to her to make that decision. Just like it was up to her to do the training, and it's up to her to keep him, okay? I have no say in this. My job is to help their relationship get better. That's it. Try to set them up for success, teach her what things that she needs to do to have a successful relationship with him. That is my job. We make no promises, we make no guarantees. And so far, we're obviously fulfilling that. And we've been very clear in that manner. Now, when you have a dog like him in a situation like this, okay, so when the dog has been a good dog and never had an issue, and then all of a sudden something happens, there's a couple boxes that you need to check. So everybody says get a medical check. We did. The only thing we didn't get was a neuro check. And the vet and I both agree does not seem neuro at all to us. Now, could it be? Sure, but I have not seen any signs and it should have at this point. So then what else? Within that medical check, pain, blood work, all that kind of stuff, all that came out super clear. So when you go through these things as a trainer, you have to, if you remember that show, Dr. House, where they have to get really creative in their thought process on how to figure out what's wrong with somebody. These are, situations that don't fit normal boxes. So same thing for him. So one of the things I'm asking her to do is get herself medically checked. And gotta love this lady. She took everything I've asked and run with it. So she's gotten a medical check so far. She's got 2 or 3 more appointments. I did get clearance from her to be able to talk about what she's discovered so far. And the first thing she just discovered is her thyroid is gone. And having a dead thyroid can most definitely throw things off, and your dog can react differently to you. And that was a huge one right there, okay? So she's on medication for that. She's gonna be working through that and see if that makes a difference. And what's interesting is this, you read some of the comments, there is a gal in one of our comments that same thing happened to her. She had a thyroid issue, ended up getting thyroid cancer, and her dog, I'm gonna say still a Borbal as well, went after her. So once she got that fixed, if I remember her comment correctly, that her relationship with her dog changed. She's got other things that she needs to check off the box to make sure there's any other underlying medical conditions that she needs to deal with. Now, we've shown you some really cool videos of him acting really goofy and a great dog, but I have seen some aggression in him. And, we did not capture it on film, but it was surrounding his mom. So he ended up guarding her really heavily. And come here. Good. Thank you. Good boy. And that told me a lot about their relationship. So if you remember the dog Woo that we worked with, it was a lot of claiming that was going on there. And that behavior that he did was claiming as well. So that tells me there's definitely a balance issue within that relationship. So we have to explore that further and work through that so that he understands where his placement is in the pack. A guy like this man, or this dog, he is, like I stated before, a power breed. He will test until there's no tomorrow. When I'm working with him, he's constantly kind of pushing the limits. I want to go over here, I want to go over there, I want to go over here. And if I give into those things, then I'm giving into him. And that is not what we're doing, okay? I don't capitulate. I set the standard of what I expect from him, and I don't capitulate. So if he wants to go over there, not today, or not right now. If he really wants to go sniff something, I'm not going to let him do it. I will bring him back to it. Okay, so I'm not a total dick. But it's about setting your standards and your boundaries and keeping to it. Just like right here, where he started pulling on the leash and I corrected him. Get back over here, okay? So she, once we started talking about it, admitted that those things were happening, that he was pushing against her, that he was invading her space, that he was becoming more and more demanding. So now you go into, is he starting to feel like he's flipping the tables on her and becoming the leader of the pack? And that can be a problem with a dog like him. Okay, so she started realizing that there's been things that have been occurring prior to this experience that she let go. That in conjunction with her work and her stress level, and that was one of the first things to ask her is like, what's going on with you? What's changed in your life? It's another key question that good dog trainers should ask when they say something's changed. Like the dog became aggressive, the dog this. What changed in your life? What big events occurred? And for her, it's been work. It's been incredibly stressful for her, and she's been struggling with it. And as she admits, like having to be more of an alpha in her work, and I hate the term alpha, but let's just use that for descriptive measures or descriptive sake. So she's the alpha at work, and she really doesn't want to come home and have to be, you know, that same person she is at work here. But sorry, you have to do it because that's the dog you got. All right. So this is not like a normal dog. Borbals are just, they are one of the most advanced dogs that you can get. They are just, can't mess around with them, man. You know? Am I right? They are a power breed of power breeds. So her giving into this can be very detrimental to the relationship. That plus she's got 3 other power breeds makes a difference. So this is where we're at right now is we're still in the exploratory phase. We're going through our 5-step with him. We're bringing her in with her Cane Corso. And they're going to learn the 5-step with the Cane Corso so that she's got that dialed before she starts working with him. And then once she feels good, we're going to bring him back into the picture. They're going to start working together there. So the goal in this is, hey, let's set up the appropriate boundaries. Let's set up the appropriate structure for her. Let's get your communication skills down with your dog. Let's get your dog seeing you as pack leader versus follower, which is where she's kind of fallen into at this stage in the game. Okay, so if we follow these steps and we have no other medical issues going on with her, I think we could see a pretty good outcome, you know. Going back to, can she trust this dog? It's up to her, man, you know. It's up to her to go down that road with him, you know, and I hope she can. You know, she's very determined. She's a very strong-willed, determined woman, and I got to give her credit. So hope you guys found that informative. Keep watching this story, and we'll go from there. All right? What'd you think? Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought. I don't know. I know.